Welcome to all new Look Back at Amber, the official podcast for us Newport County fans. From exclusive interviews to interesting insights, since 2010 we've been the best and only place to be for all things audio. Coming up in the next 30 minutes or so, I'm Luke. I've got your post-match interview with Graham Cochran, and I'd like to ask about the transfer window.
And Stephen, I've got your commentary highlights, and I'd like to ask, how important is our bounce-back ability?
Never miss out. Subscribe to the podcast or make sure you listen live at the new time of 2 p.m. on a Sunday and 7 p.m. on a Wednesday after all League 2 home matches.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Afternoon, Stephen.
Good afternoon.
Gotta say, the voice of Look Back in Amber is not here.
No.
He's at his other ventures this afternoon.
Yep.
With busy life for Mr. Lambsdale. Yeah. There was a legend back at Rodney Parade though yesterday. Talking legends.
Yeah, and it wasn't Mad Andy. Yep. Tim Thraves, the voice of Rodney Parade, back on duties yesterday. Really good to hear his voice, and especially like his enthusiasm, reading the teams out and things. Nothing wrong with the other guy.
No.
But, it's great.
Kevin, I think his name is, he does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
it was hard to live up to. Hard to live up to Tim, but he's done a really good job.
It's just nice to hear Tim Thraves again.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
I believe that's a one-off, so...
Yeah, it was a one-off. Yeah, I think he was called in at the last minute. And, just like the A-team, if you've got a problem, you need somebody to solve it, he's the man you call. So...
I just have images of Tim Thraves bursting out of a van somewhere in Newport.
Yep.
Afternoon, Tim.
Yep.
It began anyway at 1:30 p.m. in the Marquee with the NCR warm-up team. The kids from Rogerstone Rangers and some amazing live music from Sounds of Revelry. We heard them sound checking and setting up yesterday, Stephen. They sounded good.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I think they probably put on a good show. We couldn't really hear it from where we were sat, but I'm sure it went off. Yep.
Yeah, it did. Should we find out how AFC Wimbledon were going into this game?
Yeah, well, AFC Wimbledon, they were unbeaten in 5 league matches so far this season, 1-2 drawn 3. One of only 3 unbeaten teams in League 2 up to yesterday, Swindon and Mansfield being the others. They were also unbeaten away this season. They'd won their last 2 and drew 1. They were the best defence in League 2, only conceding 2 goals in 5 games. They've also kept 3 clean sheets away from home. 3 of the last 5 meetings between the two clubs had ended in draws. In the last 8 meetings, AFC Wimbledon had won 2, drawn 4, lost 1. AFC Wimbledon's last league defeat in Newport was in September 2014, a 4-1 defeat, and their last defeat in Newport was in November 2016 in the EFL Trophy.
So it's all pointing towards one thing then with a recent...
Don't spoil it. Don't spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Anyway, Nick Townsend in goal for County yesterday. Back 4 with Shane McLaughlin, James Clark, Ryan Delaney and Adam Lewis. Midfield 3 or 4, Weldig, Bennett, Morris and Harry Charsley with Will Evans and Omar Bogle up top. It was nice to see Omar Bogle up top yesterday for the first time this season in the league.
Yeah, he's had a couple of cameo appearances for Farney, and it was nice to see him get started again. We need his goals really, don't we? If we want to up the Football League we go, we're going to need Omar Bogle.
Should we find out what happened yesterday with me and you in the commentary box?
Yeah, why not?
The two sides who showed plenty of pride whilst facing Premier League opposition in midweek now return to league matters and are both on impressive runs at the moment. As it's World Cinema Day, Stephen Howell here on commentary duties, hoping for a blockbuster of a match. And with me is a man who always puts in an Oscar-winning performance. It's Luke Lewis. Luke, what's your expectations for today?
Yeah, good afternoon, Stephen. Nice to be alongside you as per usual. Yeah, I'm, as you say, both teams in midweek up against Premier League opposition. Both felt unlucky not to win. We played obviously Brentford and our visitors played Chelsea. Wimbledon has scored first in 4 of the last 5 and we've conceded 8 out of the last 10. So I think it's going to be a close game.
Al Hamadi now puts up in the wide right area. He's played it infield to Tilly. And it's a goal! 8 minutes gone, almost 9 minutes. Ball played in to Tilly, and I said earlier that he was the danger man. That's 5 goals now in 6 league appearances. And also got the goal against Chelsea in midweek. So 9 minutes gone. Newport County 0, AFC Wimbledon 1. And the visitors, maybe slightly against the run of play there, take the lead.
Yeah, really poor goal, I think, from Newport to give away. I think it was Bryn Morris who tried to make a sliding interception there before Alex Tilley got the ball. Really poor time to concede, like I said. Wimbledon scored first in 5 out of their last 6 now. We've conceded the first in 9 out of our last 11 now. So really poor start.
There's a chance here. It's Tilley with a long shot. There is a goal! Wow. 29 minutes gone. Tilley allowed to run at the defence. We've been saying that they're going to get punished. And he's there again. James Tilley for the visitors. 29 minutes gone. And that's his 7th goal of the season now. 6 in the league.
I think there was a mix-up at the back there from County. I'm sure it was Adam Lewis or James Clark who kind of got dispossessed very easily by Alex Tilley, allowed him the time and the space to cut in and shoot. And obviously, when a man like that who's bearing down on goal, we know where that ball is heading. It's the back of the net, unfortunately. Plenty of work to do now for Graham Cochran. Haven't played the best, as we've said so far in this first half, but plenty of work to do, plenty of time as well. So over 60 minutes left of this game, so hopefully plenty of time for a turnaround.
So you got Newport County now, McLaughlin in the wide area. Oh, takes 2 defenders out of the game, plays the ball in towards Delaney. It's hit the hand, and absolutely nothing given by the referee there. Well, surely that was a penalty. The shot hit the player. Maybe the referee's giving him the benefit of the doubt, but for me it was definitely a penalty. There's Wilding now on the edge of the area. Bennett plays it out wide to Adam Lewis. Lots of players in the area to aim for. It's the back post. Oh, it's flicked in and it's a goal! Well, we wanted them to finish this off strongly. Ball's played to the back post. It was played into the middle, and who else but Will Evans pops up at the back post, put the ball away to get Newport County back into this game. That's big Will Evans, the Mr. Reliable, I think you can call him. 7 goals now in his last 5. Well, that's just what Newport County needed at the end of this half, Luke.
Yeah, it is. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but that definitely will change Graham Cochran's half-time team to deserve that for the past 10 minutes of our play. I think, as you quite rightly said earlier, we've been camped in their half on points. I think good cross as well from Adam Lewis that led to the goal. Another assist from him, I think. So yeah, it's no less than we've deserved.
Delaney's picked it up. Looking for options. Chooses to play it towards Omar Bogle, but he's blocked by 2 defenders. Bogle lobs the keeper. Oh, it's gone in. What a goal! Omar Bogle puts the defenders under pressure, and he chipped the keeper with a plum there to equalise for Newport County.
A long ball plays off forwards, a long ball from Ryan Delaney into Omar Bogle. Goalkeeper comes for it. Don't know why he came for it, but Omar Bogle, obviously with experience, tipped it over the top of him. We're level, you know? Come on.
So full time here, a Ronnie parade, and then Newport County 2, AFC Wimbledon 2, and it's not really a surprise that this match has ended in a draw, seeing as the 2 sides drew twice last season, and now 4 of the last 6 meetings have ended in a draw as well. So yeah, poor first half performance from Newport County in the first half hour. Saw them go 2 goals down. Tilley scored 2, but they got a reply in added time through Will Evans, to give themselves a chance in this match. A much improved performance in the second half by Graham Coughlin's side. Changed it to a 4-2-3-1. Got the goal from Omar Bogle, and probably apart from a Nick Townsend save, the visitors didn't really offer much more in the second half. Newport County tried to find the opening, but it wasn't to be. So overall it finishes Newport County 2, AFC Wimbledon 2. Luke, what's your thoughts on that game overall?
I think, summing up in a couple of words, game of two halves. I think first half Wimbledon were on top, they were dominating, they played their way, and then we obviously scored late on into that first half. Second half we came out a completely different team, we switched to a 4-2-3-1, and yeah, second half we played a lot better, a lot more sharper, a lot quicker. We didn't play as many long balls, we played more balls on the floor, more through balls, and it seemed to have its rewards. Second half it was a case of will Newport County win it rather than will Newport County get back into the game, which I think is a credit to Graham Coughlin and his side. You know, first half we were really poor first half, one of the worst first halves I've seen in a long time, as I said, but second half, completely different team, credit to Graham, credit where it's due, and yeah, fair result in the end, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe on the overall of the two halves, draw is probably a fair result.
Newport County 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. No, it was 2-2. Really having a mare, aren't we?
Yeah, who said 1-1?
I did.
Did you? Oh, okay.
That will make the podcast.
No, yeah, that will make the podcast.
If you're wondering where the almighty Chris Chappell was, he was on husband duties yesterday.
He was, yeah.
Hopefully all is okay there.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get into your thoughts, Stephen, should we hear what the great Graham Coughlin thinks about that game yesterday?
Yes, please.
Look, I think I've been on record ever since the day I walked through the front door how proud I am of not only the team, the club, the supporters, everybody that follows Newport. It was a really tough afternoon, and look, I got to take my hat off to Wimbledon as well, because you could actually see, and I think the 4 goals were down to the midweek excursions of 2 teams that went toe-to-toe with Premier League teams, and you could see both teams, and then you chuck a red hot day, a boiling hot day in on top as well, so you could probably see the fatigue factor, the mentally and the physical tiredness that set into the players, and it was 4 goals that went in was probably down to fatigue. I know probably Johnny won't be happy with the goals they conceded, nor will I be. So fair play to the 2 clubs, the 2 teams, the 2 set of players for what they produced today on the back of a tough week mentally and physically. So it was draining, it was tiring, and you could probably see that in the game.
And that must be, I think, would you have taken that before the game? And especially from 2-0 down, you must be really pleased to have kept the run going, the unbeaten run. I
probably wouldn't have taken it before the game. But like you say, being 2-0 down, you probably have to, you probably want to take the point. And then when you get back to 2-2, you're thinking, go on, can we win this? And I think we did try to win it. But like I say, then you're vulnerable. 2 counter-attacking goals we conceded, which are not like us, which are not good, and I don't like to see that. But like I say, it's one of those things. It's a demanding season. We'll go into September now, where we go Saturday, all the way through to the end. But then we go through this again in October. So as you said, testament to both teams, both players, their fitness levels, and the quality that they produced, given the circumstances that both clubs have been through over the last 6, 7, 8 weeks.
How do you reflect on the first sort of six game block of the league? Because I mean, it felt like Wimbledon were the best side you've played probably so far, and you came through it unbeaten. Well,
they're up there. They're up there for a reason. They've recruited well in the summer. They've done really well. They brought in 2 cracking players yesterday as well. They're able to do that. They're fortunate enough to be able to do that. We have to obviously do it differently. But I thought there was 2 evenly matched teams there today. I thought both clubs, both teams, both sets of players gave a really good account of themselves. And we knew they were going to be dangerous. I like what Johnny's done. I like what Johnny Jackson's done at Wimbledon, and hats off to him, because they didn't have the best of finishes last season. And fair play to the club for sticking with him and showing faith in him. And I'm sure he's repaying it. Yeah, they are a tough opponent, and they will be. They probably will be up there or thereabouts as the season goes on, because they're a really tough team. They've not been beaten, as you say, and they were, where were they, fourth in the league? They were above us, were they? I can't remember whether they're fourth or fifth in the league, but they were up there. First 6 games they've been really, really positive, as have we. We've taken 10 points from our opening 6 games, which is not a bad return. It's a far better return than what we had last year after 6 games. So it's all about winning the next game, and that's what we'll focus on, and that's where our emphasis will be over the next week.
You mentioned it there about Will. How much of a risk was it playing him today?
Well, it's always a risk, particularly when a player doesn't train all week with you. But I think Will would have had me in a headlock if I had not picked him. So he threatens you. Will he comes for me at times. He comes after me. So I probably had to play him. He told me he wouldn't speak to me if I didn't pick him. But now he's flying. Look, he's flying. He's doing well. He's on a good scoring streak. He's leading the line well, and I think he's earned his place in the team. And I had to give him the whole week to recover. I owed it to him. I had to give it to him. I had to obviously mention to him that just get yourself ready for Friday, train Friday, and be out on the pitch on Saturday, and that was it. But you could see he was flagging there at the end. The fatigue was kicking in, and that non-training all week was kicking in. But it was good that he got through. It was good, and I hope that we don't wake up in the morning and we don't have any injuries. And fingers crossed, we're all fit and healthy. We've come through it.
What does Ollie bring to the team? Almost what does he bring to the team?
Well, he brings that physicality. He brings that size. He uses his body well. He can hold the ball up. He can run down the side, as you see in the first action. His touch was a little bit heavy, a little bit rusty as he's just come off the bench. But that's the type of movement he's good at. He'll go down the side. He'll hold the ball up. He'll link play. He'll bring us up the pitch, and he'll be an aerial threat from crosses. There's a little bit of work to be done with him. He's, as you say, he's only 18, a young lad. Made his league debut today, so fair play to him. And it's exciting. I like working with the young lads. I like working with the lads that are raw and need that little bit of coaching, that little bit of experience. But you got a good flavouring of Ollie today. You can see what he brings to us.
And you came up against him in pre-season when he played the Oval. Did that performance stick out in your mind that day?
Yeah, you probably have to ask the 2 centre-halves that day. Although we were, as you probably know, and you guess, we were fatigued. Obviously, all the work we'd put in, we'd actually trained that morning. So it wasn't a great barometer because of the way and the condition we'd entered the game in, with the training load we'd played. So look, we did look at it, yeah, to be fair, but I wasn't reading too much into that because we weren't quite ourselves when we played Oval for a number of reasons, not just fatigue, not just training on the day of a game. That was our 3rd session. The game that night was our 3rd session that day. So but he was a handful, and we did look at it. And we had got we got some a scouting network that proposed, obviously with Bristol City. They got together and proposed and sent them across to us. So we were more than happy to trust and rely upon our network.
Cheers, Graham. Thank you. Newport County manager there, Graham Coughlin, in quite high spirits despite a draw yesterday. Rodney Parade. Newport County, the Kings have coming back, which is something that you want to talk about a little bit later, Stephen.
Yep, it is. Yep.
But before we move into anything else, what did you make of the game yesterday? It was me and you in that commentary box.
Yeah.
Was it after a busy couple of days, Rodney Parade, three games in 7 days, all a Rodney Parade. What did you make of the 90 minutes yesterday?
Yeah, well, I thought they made a positive start. Bogle created a chance for Charles Lee, which I think got kind of stuck under his feet. And then I think it was obvious the way that Newport County were trying to play. It was basically long balls up towards Bogle, or they were going into areas where there was nowhere near the ball, and it was all just a bit predictable. It was all too easy for Wimbledon to defend against. And yeah, for 35 minutes, Wimbledon were the far the better side. They got their 2 goals through Tilly, who was causing problems on the right-hand side. Look, you can see why he scored so many goals this season, 2 against us as well. And I thought Wimbledon were also kind of playing long balls, but they were more efficient at it. And I think we spoke about it during the commentary yesterday. Having Omar Bogle in the team changed the way the Newport County play. Rather than utilising the pace up front of Palmer Holden or Will Evans, they seemed to be preferring to go long. And it was only when say the last 10 minutes of the first half. They finished quite strongly, got the ball on the... started to get the ball on the ground a bit more, and got a goal from it as well. So, so I think that goal, before half-time was really important. I think if they'd gone in 2-0 down, their heads might have dropped a little bit, although I don't think Graham Coughlin maybe would have allowed that to happen. But 2-0 down half-time is looking tricky, isn't it? But 2-1, you've got a bit of a chance. Yeah, it came out second half. He changed it to a 4-2-3-1, which seemed to work. And I think that was probably to get a bit more width, get Evans and Charlesley in wide areas. And obviously protect the back four a little bit as well with Bennett and Morris, I think it was, wasn't it? The central defensive midfielders.
Yes, it was midfield two. Pivot to Morris and Bennett. Yeah,
superb goal from Bogle, really well taken, brilliant bit of control and a lob to beat the keeper. Yeah, Townsend made a really, really good save at 2-2 to keep him in the game. And Wimbledon then, they changed the personnel, they changed their shape, which I think was a huge compliment to the way we've said it before. When teams do that, it's a huge compliment. And their changes didn't really have as much of an effect as what maybe they wanted. Like I said, Townsend made a superb save from Tilly. And I just think overall, I think a point was probably a fair result. Given their first half performance and our second half performance, I would probably say a draw was probably fair.
Yeah, draw is probably fair, and Graham Coughlin mentioned it there in his post-match interview with us yesterday about both teams being fatigued in that game, being tired. As we know, obviously, played Brentford on Tuesday, defended and ran around for a lot of that 90 minutes. We didn't have a lot of the ball. We were chasing the ball more than anything and being very disciplined. Wimbledon, same thing. They played Chelsea, £1 billion spending Chelsea, who were... 2-1. James Tilley scored against Chelsea. Did you notice a bit of fatigue on a play yesterday?
Well, I think it kind of probably did fizzle out towards the end of the second half, and I think you could probably understand. I mean, Newport only made 4 changes, Wimbledon only made 3, so it was more or less the same players, but for a couple. Yeah, I mean, they both put huge efforts in on Tuesday night, didn't they? And did themselves a lot of credit to the way they performed against Premier League opponents. Brentford are not a bad side, and Chelsea, obviously, with all the money they've spent and the players they got, I mean, to be 1-0 up against them was a superb achievement. They were unfortunate, I think, to probably lose 2-1. They might have taken it to penalties, maybe. But and I mean, it's been a busy 3 games in a week. I mean, that's a lot for anyone. Luckily now they've got a clear run now till next Saturday, where they've got a week to kind of recover and to kind of work on things in training a little bit more. So
because it has been a busy 7-day period for the club. How do you reflect on those past 7 days as yourself? We've seen those 3 games from the commentary gantry.
Yeah.
What are your reflection on those last 3 games?
I think it's been great. I think we got the win against Sutton. Really good performance against Brentford. And good up against a good side yesterday, who, as I said in the build-up, haven't conceded many goals this season, especially away from home. So for us to go and put 2 on them as well, I think says a lot about where they are as a team at the moment. It shows that they can mix it up with these sides.
Hoofball. Something that we're not a fan of here at Newport City Radio.
No, I mean, the ball was spending, so I remember just doing the commentary. I was getting fed up of saying the ball's in the air, it's headed forward, ball's in the air, it's headed back. Both sides were guilty of doing it, and I think in terms of trying to attack, like I just said, I thought Wimbledon were a lot better. They were playing the long balls up to I think it was Bougiel, wasn't it? And Al Hamidi up front, and Bougiel was winning most of his headers. Whereas we were trying to do the same thing with Omar Bogle and it wasn't really working, or we were just playing the ball into areas of the pitch where there was nobody near, and that kind of reminded me of how we used to play a lot last season. We haven't really seen it this season. It's been a totally kind of different, and I think excuse me, I think Graham Coughlin's seen it as well, and I think he did have a right go at them. So for the last 10 minutes of the first half, they started to play it on the floor a bit more, and they got the results from it. We saw it against Sutton. It was like we said the same. When they got the ball on the ground, they scored. They got the first goal, and then they went on to get another 2. And it was same story yesterday, really.
Do you think that's because of having Omar Bogle in the team?
Yeah.
And that's almost not a consequence, but we know what his strengths are, his hold-up play and his ability to shrug off defenders with his strength. Is that almost, does hoofball come almost not hoofball, but long balls? Does long balls and Omar Bogle go hand in hand, would you say?
Well, if you want to use his physicality, I suppose, yeah, but then you can find another way of playing as well by getting the ball maybe into wide areas, getting crosses into the box and get him into the box. He's not going to be an on the front foot pressing forward. He's more of a target man, isn't he, really? So when you got Will Evans and Palm Holden, they were more pressing. You could play the high press. They didn't really do that so much yesterday, did they? And they were sitting back off AFC Wimbledon a lot. I remember Newport having a run at the goal.
Fatigue?
Tilly was having a run at them as well. Maybe they just didn't want to commit to make a foul or anything like that. And there was a lot of fouls being given against them yesterday afternoon. I thought Graham Coughlin spoke about it really well in the press conference. So I think, obviously, Bogle's going to change the way you play, as we said.
Ref watch. As we heard in the commentary, the penalty that wasn't given.
Yeah.
On second reflections.
Yeah, there was fouls in the area, and as Graham Coughlin said, pity there wasn't a sale on in the club shop because they could have got themselves a jersey there, but obviously they didn't want to pay full price, so they were trying to steal one off the Newport County players. Yeah, so I said about it in the commentary yesterday when we were doing it that this referee, it's his first season in the EFL proper. He's been in the National League for about the last 3 seasons, and I got to be honest, I think don't want to be too critical, but he was out of his depth yesterday. He was got more decisions wrong than he got right, and then bizarrely towards the end of the game he started giving us decisions, which I found a bit odd. So I think maybe he got fed up about the comp. He'd start shouting at him on the Bisley probably. So I think maybe better sort of give some of these to the home team.
4 points from 2 home league games against 2 London sides, Sutton, AFC Wimbledon. Going back last Saturday at 1:30pm when we were in the marquee, would you have taken that? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think win against Sutton, draw against Wimbledon is good. I mean, obviously we'd prefer to have had 6 points, but given the way that the game went yesterday, being 2-0 down and coming back, I think they'd be very happy with either side of a big cup game as well. So I think Graham Coughlin would be pleased with 4 points.
I mentioned it there at the end of the commentary, a game of 2 halves. Is that a fair assessment in your opinion?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. I think, first 35 minutes, I think, Newport County were awful. And I think you're right. I think it's one of the worst first halves we've seen for quite a while. We've been spoilt this season, I think, so far. We've made quick starts, got a lot of goals in the first half hour of games. And, it kind of didn't materialise yesterday. AFC Wimbledon got the first one, I'd probably say, against the run of play in the early stages because County were having the better chances. But I think it was really important to get that goal before half-time. So important.
Should we move on to the all-important Absolutely County Man of the Match vote?
Yeah, go on then, because I forgot what I was saying.
So your options...
It's been a long week.
It has, I agree. Your options for Man of the Match yesterday was Omar Bogle, who got a goal on his first league start. Adam Lewis, who I thought was superb once again.
Yeah, I thought he was good. He's had a bit of criticism, but I'm not really sure why, because I thought he was getting involved in the play. He was good defensively. He's up against Tilly, who was a really, really good right winger. So I thought he was all right yesterday.
Will Evans,
yeah.
Or other, which a few people has, including someone called Stephen Howell.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
Who says Nick Townsend for the save to keep us in the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think that save to stop Tilly getting his hat-trick was a brilliant save, and it was so crucial, and it basically earned us a point, so I'll go for Nick Townsend.
A couple of people said Scott Bennett in the comment section.
Yeah, he had another good game yesterday. Nearly got a goal as well. Lovely little move, cut inside, nice shot which come off the crossbar, and that was a brilliant effort. He does like a goal against the AFC Wimbledon. So Scott Bennett was good yesterday as well.
With 39% of the vote.
Yep.
Will Evans,
yeah.
Yet again.
He got the goal as well, didn't he? So I'll go along with that.
We here at Look Back in Amber are pleased to tell you we've got a new sponsor for the entire 2023-24 season. We're proud to introduce to you Newport Credit Union, who are based on Upper Dock Street.
Right here, right now.
Newport City Radio.
So for my talking point this week, I'm going to ask the question, how important will our points gained from losing positions be? Now, there's a very, very good reason why I've come up with that talking point. But before we talk about it, let's hear from the manager, Graham Coughlan.
You've had a very demanding start to the season. You've spoken about that already. How deep did you have to dig today to come back against the best defence in the league?
Yeah, they're very good. They're very good. They're very solid. They play a certain way. They ask questions of you. They load up the box as well with the set pieces. I was wanting to bring fresh legs on the pitch later on in the second half, but every time I was trying to make a substitution, they were just getting bigger and bigger, and our substitutions possibly would have brought us smaller and smaller. So I just had to. It was stick or twist. So we ended up sticking. We ended up going with what we know. But in the second half, I think we were on top. I think we were the one team in the ascendancy. But what a great save from Nick Townsend! What an excellent save to keep us on level terms. But yeah, we come out the second half and we the first 10-15 minutes we set after them. But then again, you could see after that, probably on the hour mark, you could just see the energy levels and the legs just weren't there. That it's normally there. But like I said to the lads, I'm proud of them. I'm absolutely proud of them. I love working with them. We have our arguments, we have our fights, we have our debates every day of the week. That's part and parcel of life. But they're brilliant. They're a brilliant set of lads. And you just seen today, 2-0 down, that Newport County never say die attitude. You know, we go till the end is the song. And fair play to them. Fair play to them. It was a tough ask. It was a tough week, and they've come through. Not with 3 points, but they've come through with a really good performance. And we've got a point out again.
Graham Coughlan there, Newport County manager, talking about the bounce back ability of his team and the character. So there's a reason why I've chose this for a talking point. Obviously, in the last 2 league matches, we've seen Newport County come back from a losing position to earn points. Obviously, firstly against Sutton, they came back from 1-0 down to win 3-1 and get 3 points. And yesterday, obviously, came back from 2-0 down to earn a point. Obviously, also in the League Cup, came back from 1-0 down to beat Charlton 3-1, came back against Brentford 1-0 down to draw 1-1, albeit they lost on penalties. Yeah, I've got some stats, but before I go into my stats, I'll ask you, Luke, how important do you think these points gained from losing positions will be come the end of the season?
Crucial. Absolutely crucial. I think that no matter what team you are, if you have the ability to come back from defeat, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, I think is the phrase I'm thinking of here.
Yeah.
It's crucial, you know, for confidence, it's absolutely crucial that we have the ability in our locker. We've shown it 3 times so far this season, and against Crew as well. Yes, we lost, but I think we came back from
we did
1-0 down to draw 1-1, and then they kind
of collapsed in the second half.
But I think it's absolutely crucial, you know. These points could be the difference between, you know, no playoffs, relegation, survival. You know, not saying we're gonna be in any of those situations come the end of the season, but you know, these are gonna be really, really crucial. And I think it might plant a bit of doubt in teams' mind as well when they're looking at Newport and they maybe go 1 or 2-0 up in the game. They always know then in the back of their mind, okay, they've done it before. They've got points on losing positions before. Are they going to do it again? I think the phrase "we fight to the end" that's not been shown more evident than these opening games of the season for me.
Yeah, if you look at the Graham Coughlan era last season, results when they scored first: at home they won 5, lost 2; away 1-3, drew 1, lost 1. Results when the opponent scored first: at home they drew 5, lost 3, so they didn't even win 1. And away they won 2, drew 4, and lost 2. So already this season, we've, in my opinion, so far we're kind of on a trajectory to kind of beat what we did last season. And I think those points, like you said, are so crucial because we're on 10 points now from 6 games. If you take away those 4 points that we might not have got, we'd be about 19th in the table, which is kind of, you know. And I think if we can keep on doing this throughout the season, it's going to change the trajectory of our season, as you just said. You know, because we're already so many points in front of teams around the bottom, and if we can keep on picking up 3 points, 1 point, 3 points, then especially maybe more so away from home as well. I think we could be in for a surprisingly good season.
We're 7 points clear of Sutton, who occupied the relegation places with 6 games played, as you quite rightly mentioned.
Yeah, and I just think it speaks volumes about the character in the group as well. New football season means new kit. New school year means new uniform. Newport Credit Union will help you through it. To find out more and see how to join them, search online for Newport Credit Union.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
Newport City Radio.
Friday. Let's take you back a couple of days. Friday, the 1st of September 2023 is arguably, as a football fan, the best day of the year. Transfer deadline day. And it was a busy one for Newport County. 2 players in, 1 player out. Yes, albeit he was already out on loan in the form of Joe Day, but he's got another club now in the Oval after being recalled from Woking. Matty Baker's come back on a season-long loan from Stoke, but he's picked up a knock when he was at Stoke playing in a under-23s game. And person who we seen yesterday, Ollie Thomas, who played, as like quite rightly put to Graham, played against County for Yeovil early on in pre-season, is coming on loan from Bristol City. Is he a replacement for Seb Palmer-Houlden, or is he in as well as Seb Palmer-Houlden? Obviously, for the time being, he's in instead of Seb Palmer-Houlden because he's injured, but when Seb's back, there'll be an extra option up top. Before we get the opinion of Stephen and myself, let's hear from County boss Graham Coughlin on the transfer window.
Deadline day was yesterday. You wanted new faces in the building. You got 2. How happy are you with the return of Matt Baker? And we saw a glimpse of Ollie Thomas.
Yeah, look, we had to add numbers. We had to add numbers given our schedule, what we've had, what we've got coming up, and given the League 2 programme. So it was a no-brainer. I was worried. I was worried that we wouldn't have picked up anything because our squad is thin. So we still need to, we won't be able to with the window shut, but we still need to 1 or 2 bodies. I'm hoping that can maybe come from freebies, or I'm hoping that can come from maybe the academy, because we certainly need 1 or 2 more bodies in the building. But yeah, I'm really pleased with Ollie and Matty Baker. Matty, of course, needs no introduction. We know all about him. But again, I must take my hat off to Stoke City and to Bristol City for their efficiency, for their professionalism, and for how they've helped us out over the last 24 hours.
You wanted a striker pretty much for most of August, even before Seb's injury. How challenging was it to get one over the line?
Well, it nearly didn't happen. It was pretty tough going into deadline day. Obviously, having lost Seb, but obviously fair play to Bristol City. They phoned us up and they said, well, they could take, they look after Seb's rehab. They bring him back across and rehab him. But they had 1 replacement for us who obviously we were seeing in Ollie, but he was at Yeovil. I didn't quite know the ruling whether he could come back, but they assured me yes, he could come back to Bristol City and then re-sign for ourselves, which was a plus point. So we just see little glimpses of him, lots and lots of work. He's a young lad. Let's not expect too much from him, but yeah, he's a handful, to be quite honest. He's a real handful, and he gives us that legs and energy that we will miss with Seb.
County boss Graham Coughlin there on deadline day, and the players that we've just signed in Matty Baker and Ollie Thomas. I think the overriding thing, Stephen, is that those cakes that they were baking on Friday night, they were none for us.
Yeah, no, they didn't leave us any. We did ask Louis where's the cakes at, but fortunately I made a visit to our friends in a certain cake shop, Cake Lab. Hello, Cake Lab, by the way, if you're listening.
Afternoon.
Yeah, but I think, to be honest, because at the beginning of the transfer window, it was all a bit like maybe worried, not really sure. I wasn't really sure about the players that we were bringing in because I didn't really know much about them. But then after I saw that Cheltenham friendly, I was like, oh, okay, like Delaney looked good, Jameson. Adam Lewis, I think, is the biggest one. Getting him back is huge. For his creativity as well. Bit unfortunate with Palmer-Houlden, who was looking really good, 2 goals, 2 assists. But we've brought Ollie Thomas in, so it shows we've got a great relationship with clubs. I think especially clubs like Bristol City, we've got a history of getting good loan players from them, haven't we? So yeah, Matt Baker coming back is good as well. I was really impressed with him, what I saw of him last season. I think he made 18 appearances for us, didn't he? And he looked really good. He's versatile. He can play in midfield as well, so that's probably a help. He's got a little niggle at the moment, but I think he'll probably be back.
I think he's had 2 weeks away.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Well, there's no rush either, is there? Really, we're not it's not urgent. But it was interesting to say that he was going to come after Jameson got injured. Yeah, so it's good to get him back to the door. I would have probably liked one more striker, if I'm being honest.
That's what I'm going to come on to now. I want to ask the question, have we done enough in this transfer window, would you say?
Well, I mean, I think so. I think, yeah. Because, I mean, we've got two really good goalkeepers. We've got 2 good right backs. We've got 5 central defenders who are really good. We've got 2 good left backs, Adam Lewis and Matty Bonswell. Midfield, we've got Morris, Wildig, Bennett, Charsley, James Waite. So I think there's...
And Matty Baker can play in that.
Matty Baker can play in
Scott
there
Bennett
as well.
kind of role.
Yeah, and then up front you've got Bogle, Zanzala when he comes back, Will Evans, you've got Ollie Thomas, you've got Kibben Rai, you've got Nathan Wood who can play out wide. Barring any serious amount of injuries, I think we're looking good.
And you've still got players like Ofrani Zanzala to come back into the mix as well.
Yeah.
Interesting though that Graham said that he is still looking in the free agent window.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there are players out there who have not got contracts, but then are they going to be fit? Are they good enough? Yeah, well, you just keep your eyes and ears open, innit? If you see something's available, hopefully they can act on it.
What do you make of our deadline day business? As you say, you wanted one more striker in?
Yeah, I would have preferred one more. But, I mean, obviously we lost Palmer Holden, but then he's going to come back in January and we're going to still keep Ollie Thomas from what I understand. So, yeah, maybe, and again, it comes down to finances as well, doesn't it? So we're a bit restricted that way. So, yeah, I think we're probably all right, actually.
With now that we know the team we've got for the first half of the season, do you want to change your prediction at all that you made at the start of the season?
I can't remember what I said.
I think you said mid-table.
Mid-table, yeah. I think I said about between 10th and 12th, did I? Yeah, I think I'll keep this same.
Now, school is back next week. As in terms of grading Newport County's transfer window, let's take it back to your score days. What rating or what grade would you give this transfer window? Graham Coughlin's first summer transfer window in charge.
Yeah.
What rating would you give it?
A C+, but edging towards a B.
Why?
Because I think the players that you've brought in are really, really good. Maxted looked a good goalkeeper. McLaughlin looks a really good right back. Delaney, Jameson, Matty Bonswell, Bryn Morris looks really, really good. The strikers that he did bring in, Palmer Holden, look really, really good. And they managed to get back Adam Lewis, as I just said. So... yeah, I think he's done really, really well. Given the restrictions he's working under, I think he's done a phenomenal job. And those players are all, I think he's moulded them into his own team. So, I think they all everybody involved in getting those transfers done from the scouting just deserve a lot of credit for giving us a team on the pitch we can be proud of.
New football season means new kit. New school year means new school trips. Newport Credit Union will get you sorted. Just search online for Newport Credit Union.
Right here, right now. This is Newport City Radio.
It's nearly the end of another look back in Amber.
Yep.
Before we do, our interview with the media manager, who I'm sure had a very, very busy day on Friday, Louis Cartwright-Rolls, is now available on wherever you get your podcast. We're on Spreaker. If you search for us on our Facebook page, you'll find the link. Also, wherever you get your podcast, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, places like that. So yeah, make sure you go and give that a listen. Back to formality, Stephen. Next Saturday, we're away to Crawley. So what's your score prediction?
Yeah, creepy Crawley. Yeah, we've not beaten them since April 2021. And only 1-1, drawn 5, lost 3 in the last 9 meetings. I'll say it's going to be a 2-2 draw.
2-2. Okay. I think that we're going to, especially having a week off now, we're going to be back firing, sharp, fit, and I think we might see that bit more of that high possession game. I'm going to say 2-0. And then moving again onto weekend after, on the 16th of September, when we're back home to Barrow, and we've got Aled Hughes performing for us in the marquee. We are home to Barrow, who just signed from Wales international James Chester on deadline date, which is a pretty good move. Stephen, what's your score prediction when Newport County take on Barrow Rodney Parade?
I think we're going to win 2-1.
Barrow are actually above us in the league table.
They are
They're fourth.
But I'm being positive.
I think it's been a tight game. I think it might be a 1-0 either way, but I'm going to go for 1-0 Newport. Thank you for taking the time out to listen today. As always, we'd love to read your thoughts about our thoughts on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram via direct message. Also on email, studio@newportcityradio.org. We'll catch you on Sunday the 17th of September at 2 p.m. as we continue to look back in amber the 2022-23 season. More talking points, more banter and more top class analysis. We'll catch you then.
Right here.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now. Newport City Radio.